Florida football has reached record heights. The Gators finished the season with their highest ranking in history, 6th in both wire service polls. They tied a school record for victories with 9, won the Gator Bowl game, and captured the state championship for the 2nd consecutive year. The leadership of Charley Pell, the determination of the Gator players, and the unity and loyalty of the Florida fans proved to be a winning hand in 1983. A winning hand. Florida football, 1983. Brought to you by Sunbanks of Florida. Support for the Gators in 1983 was overwhelming. Season ticket sales hit a record 58,600, the highest figure ever for a sports team in the state of Florida. The Gators once again finished in the nation's top 10 in home attendance, averaging almost 73,000 fans per game. In 1983, the Gators faced 5 bowl teams and 3 of the final 5 top-rated teams in America. Final Southeastern Conference statistics showed the Gators near the top of the league in most categories. Despite facing some of the nation's finest passing attacks, the Gator defense led the conference in pass defense. The Gators were 2nd in the league in total defense, total offense, and 1st in net punting. Balance was the byword of this outstanding football team. Saturday's individual heroes were plentiful, but the 1983 Gators were successful because they were a team, eager to be as good as they could possibly be. The end result was the greatest season in Florida football history.
Winning the state championship over 2 great teams in the state, Miami and Florida State, was a great achievement. And it was done through a strong commitment, then finishing number 6 in the nation, which no Florida team had ever done in the history of football. It really kept a great career for our senior class and probably established more precedents for excellence than any other factor of our program.
Excellence in the Gator program was obvious from the very beginning. Game 1, Florida Field, record crowd of nearly 74,000. A ferocious Florida defense showed early it had come to play. Miami's first possession, Hurricanes complete a pass, but Gator safety Tony Lilly, one of Florida's heavy hitters, hammers the Hurricane receiver. Florida recovers the fumble. Quarterback Wayne Peace goes to work. 3 plays later, he finds sophomore Joe Henderson for the score. Peace was a model of efficiency, connecting on 18 of 32 passes for 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. Peace and Henderson hook up again. This play, a mirror image of their earlier scoring connection. Miami's offense never got on track. Hurricane quarterback Bernie Kosar spent most of the evening dodging oncoming traffic. Tim Newton and Roy Harris, the Orange County Crush, combined to stop a drive. Strong safety Randy Clark, an outstanding open field tackler, comes up with the big play. And when the Hurricanes went to the air, all Southeastern Conference safety Tony Lilly played it like a center fielder, making the interception. Florida stretched its lead to 16-3 in the 3rd quarter. Strong-legged place kicker Chris Perkins pounds home a 53-yard field goal. The Gator scoreboard lights up again with a touchdown and a Bobby Raymond field goal. Then the Hurricanes are bottled up thanks to the coffin corner kicking of David Nardoni. Florida defensive domination continues. Kosar's desperation pass is grabbed by senior cornerback Bruce Vaughn. sophomore Greg Cleveland and junior Tim Newton dropped the Miami quarterback for a loss. Cleveland's rapid development on the defensive side is a tribute to the Orlando native and the Gator coaching staff. Again, Kozar is running for his life. And again, the Gators get the sack. All-American Wilbur Marshall notches this one. Senior cornerback Vito McKeever puts the icing on a sweet victory with a brilliant interception. The 7th turnover forced by the aggressive Florida defense. The Gators had taken the first step toward the state title with a 28-3 victory over Miami. The Gators captured the second half of the state championship on the final Saturday of the season. Another record crowd, plus a national television audience, saw the Gators totally dominate Florida State. As against Miami, the stout Gator defense forced 7 turnovers. The offense scored on 11 of 14 possessions. It was a tremendous effort. The stage for the rout was set early. The Gator offense gets moving on a 38-yard pass play from Peace to speedy freshman Ricky Natil. The Seminoles stopped that drive, but the Gators get the football right back. An open field runner means search and destroy for Wilbur Marshall. Marshall makes a bone-jarring tackle, and the Gators have their first turnover. This time, Florida moves quickly. Neil Anderson follows the blocking of all SEC center Phil Bromley, tackles Lomas Brown and Scott Trimble, guards John Hunt and Buddy Schulteis. Then, Peace takes it in for the touchdown. The Gators' scoring spree is underway. Moments later, almost a carbon copy of the first Florida State turnover, a Seminole running back in the open field. Marshall quickly on the scene, jars the ball loose again. Greg Cleveland recovers. Junior Bobby Raymond followed with a field goal. The Gators led 10-0. It was a great day for the entire Florida defense. A Marshall interception set up another score. Peace keeps his cool on the busted play, carries it in for his second touchdown of the day. It's 26 Florida. The Gator defense was magnificent all afternoon long as sophomore cornerback Ricky Eastman picks off a Seminole pass and forces yet another turnover. In the third quarter, more heroics by Florida's feisty pass defenders. Senior Bruce Vaughn gets his second interception of the day. This one sets up another Bobby Raymond field goal. And the beat goes on. On the Gators' next possession, junior Lorenzo Hampton sweeps right, follows his blocking. The Seminoles are unable to capture the elusive prey. Hampton goes 48 yards for the touchdown. The fourth quarter begins, and it's more of the same. Junior Roger Sybil, who has played a variety of positions at Florida, intercepts a pass and returns it 38 yards. That sets up Bobby Raymond's record-breaking 6th field goal of the day. Quite an achievement for the junior kicker who takes great pride in the academic excellence at Florida.
I knew I was going to be majoring in business administration, and I just came to the school strictly for an academic standpoint. I knew Florida was a good school, and this is where I wanted to come. I felt that in Florida, the University of Florida was definitely a leader out of the state schools, and this is where I thought would be the best place for me to come for the best possible education.
Gator fans are glad Raymond made that decision. He played a major role in many Florida victories, including the 53-14 shellacking of Florida State. After the game, Gator seniors, led by Wilbur Marshall, salute the fans with a special appearance.
It was a great moment. It was something that I don't think that I'll ever feel in my career in football. I felt like they should be a part of what we was going through. It was a super win, and I wanted to share it with the fans.
Florida's road schedule ranked with the most difficult in school history. It began in Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum against 9th-ranked Southern California. Florida's defense played the game with great emotion, led by junior linebacker Mark Korf, a California native playing in front of family and friends. The Gator offense gets moving in the third quarter. Lorenzo Hampton follows excellent blocking for a 20-yard gain. Then Wayne Peace passes to junior Gary Roll. Roll is an academic all-conference performer, but it took more guts than brains to make this catch. Sophomore John L. Williams makes his first appearance of the season. The shifty fullback hauls in a Peace pass for 20 yards. But with some last-second heroics, USC pulled out a 19-19 tie. In this two-game series, Florida scored a victory at home and a tie on the road against their mighty opponent from the West Coast. Unbeaten Mississippi State is the next Gator foe. Florida travels to Starkville for the first time in over 30 years. The Bulldogs jump to a 6-0 lead, but that's when Florida's defense takes control. Alonzo Johnson and Roy Harris sack the quarterback for an 8-yard loss. It was still 6-0 late in the half when Peace catches State in a blitz, threads the needle to his favorite target, Dwayne Dixon. The Peace-Dixon combination gives the Gators a 7-6 halftime lead.
Dwayne and I had a closeness. When we first came here, we hit it right off. We compete against each other, but, in a friendly way and, try to make each other better. And as the years went on, my freshman year, he and I just became so close, and we knew what each other expected from each other.
The Gators went into the fourth quarter against Mississippi State holding a slim 14-12 lead, but the lid was about to blow. A scoring drive is capped off as Peace flips a pass to B. Lang in the end zone. The Gators seemed to get stronger as the warm September afternoon wore on. Fullback John L. Williams makes one of the season's most unbelievable runs. He breaks through the line of scrimmage, cuts to his right, and breaks 8 tackles en route to a 70-yard touchdown run. The Gators had finally broken the game wide open. More to come. On the Bulldogs' first play after Williams' great run, quarterback John Bond is back to throw, but this time the receiver wears white. Gators senior Randy Clark intercepts the pass. Then John L. Williams gets the ball again. This time only 20 yards separate Williams from the goal line, and he just does get in. The Gators score an impressive 35-12 win over Mississippi State. Florida moves on to Tiger Stadium, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to face the tough LSU Tigers. Just 1 week earlier, LSU had demolished 9th-ranked Washington 42-0. But the Gators are not intimidated. The offense takes charge as Peace connects with Dixon for 32 yards. Moments later, Neil Anderson bursts into the end zone to put Florida in front. On the Gators' next possession, Peace checks off at the line of scrimmage. And the results are dramatic. Lorenzo Hampton is wide open over the middle. He heads for the sideline, then walks a tightrope for the touchdown. The Gator defense must repeatedly rise to the occasion to preserve the victory. The Tigers have first and goal at the 3, but Greg Cleveland, Alonzo Johnson, and Mark Korf refuse to give in. With minutes remaining, the Tigers try again. And again, the Gator defense stands strong. The goal line stand is complete when Wilbur Marshall makes a leaping interception at the 5-yard line. The Gators had 3 goal line stands in the game and held LSU's vaunted running attack under 100 yards. Then the play that broke the Tigers' back. Sophomore Neil Anderson explodes through the line and dashes 76 yards for the touchdown. The Gators win 31-17. Anderson is just one Gator who has benefited from Florida's extensive strength program.
When I came here, I weighed about 185, 190 pounds, and right now I've gotten up to 210, and I don't think I've added any fat. Most of it has been strength, which is due to the weight room, and got maybe an inch taller, and I've increased my speed, so I think it's all attributed to the weight room.
After the LSU victory, the Gators return home for back-to-back games against Vanderbilt and East Carolina. Home games have taken on a festival-type atmosphere in Gainesville. Fans come from all over the state to enjoy the excitement, the spectacle that Florida football has become. The loyalty and commitment of the Florida fans have helped give the Gators a real home field advantage. Florida is an incredible 17-1 at Florida Field in the last 3 years. Vanderbilt and East Carolina were 2 unwilling victims in 1983. The Gators traveled to Auburn, Alabama for a battle of 2 unbeaten Southeastern Conference teams. Florida falls behind by 14 early, but strikes quickly in the second quarter. Ricky Nattiel outruns the Auburn secondary to the end zone. The Gator defense was tested time after time by Auburn's explosive offense. Linebacker Mark Korf responds with a third-quarter interception. Then Korf shows the speed of a halfback on the return. Auburn increased its lead to 28-7 in the third quarter, and many had written the Gators off, but it was too early for that. Makes a circus catch at Auburn's 3-yard line to set up a touchdown. And the Gators score again on the brilliant Peace-to-Dixon combination. Time runs out on Florida's valiant comeback attempt. The Tigers win 28-21, but the Gator effort was impressive. The next week, Florida faced yet another top 5 opponent, the Georgia Bulldogs at Jacksonville's Gator Bowl. Our network television audience saw the Gators jump to an early lead. Wayne Peace connects with Lorenzo Hampton for 50 yards. Moments later, Gator fans were still on their feet, wild with excitement, when John L. Williams bowled his way into the end zone. But 6 points never made the scoreboard. The play had been blown dead at the 1, and the Gators settled for a Bobby Raymond field goal. The Gators got a defensive lift when Bruce Vaughn anticipated a Georgia pass and makes the interception. This sets up another Raymond three-pointer. The great punting of Ray Criswell kept the Bulldogs bottled up all day. Criswell, only a sophomore, finished the season with the highest average of any punter in the nation. Following an interception at their 1-yard line, the Bulldogs drove 99 yards for the winning score in a hard-fought football rivalry. The following week, Florida faced the bowl-bound Kentucky Wildcats. The Gators answered this challenge with a dominating 24-7 victory. The win earned Florida a trip to the Gator Bowl, the fourth consecutive postseason bid for Charley Pell's Gators. It was a bitter, cold night in Jacksonville for the Gator Bowl. The 11th-ranked Gators and the 10th-ranked Iowa Hawkeyes were set to battle for national honors. The Hawkeyes were moving the football when senior Tony Lilly stepped in with an interception. It was the first of many big defensive plays for the Gators. On the first play after the interception, Neil Anderson blows past the Iowa defenders for big yardage. The Gators scored their first touchdown moments later on a sweep by Anderson. Iowa quarterback Chuck Long was the leading passer in the Big Ten, but on this night, he'd met his match in the aggressive Gator defenders, led by Wilbur Marshall, who finished his college career with an outstanding performance. With Iowa forced to punt from its own end zone, the Gators are poised to take advantage of a Hawkeye mistake. And the opportunity comes when Iowa fumbles and senior Doug Drew gets the thrill of a lifetime with a touchdown recovery in the end zone. The second half was a defensive battle, but when Fred McAllister picked off the fourth Gator interception, the issue was settled. Florida wins the Gator Bowl 14-6 over an excellent Iowa team. The Gators vault to number 6 in the nation, highest ranking ever for a Florida football team.
The excellence that this team stood for, regardless of how difficult the task, regardless of the adversity that they faced, they always came back and played stronger. They got stronger as the year went on and finished in a great way with a Gator Bowl victory over one of the top teams in the nation, the University of Iowa.
Charley Pell, the man most responsible for Florida's football resurgence, has an outstanding coaching record. He's produced 6 bowl teams in 7 years as a major college head coach, 4 in a row with the Gators, and the 1983 season produced the finest national ranking in Gator history. In 1984, Charley Pell and the Gators face more difficult challenges. 3 of last year's top 4 teams in the nation are on the schedule. There will be 6 games played at Florida Field, including key SEC matchups against LSU, Mississippi State, and Auburn. The Gators face Miami in Tampa, Georgia in Jacksonville, and Florida State in Tallahassee. Join the Gator excitement. Be a part of a winning hand in 1984.
And we like to think that it's a total commitment by the entire community, the Florida community, the people, the students, the administration, the athletic director and his team, the coaching staff, the players, their families. And when all of these things are totally committed to a common goal, it may be difficult, and we may step in some gopher holes along the way, and we may stump our toe, but we'll reach that championship plateau. We want to thank the leadership of Sunbanks of Florida for their support that enables us to bring this highlight film to the people of the state of Florida.